It's midnight, and as these young men begin a new day...
Let's go! Get out the front! Keep moving slow! Keep moving slow! Keep moving slow!
They also begin a new life.
Hurry up.
As new recruits in the Marine Corps, they will give up everything from pocket knives to pin-ups.
Do you have anything else covered during that break?
And as many Americans wonder how to save our children,
Yes, sir!
the Corps will teach these boys how camouflage and guns can protect and defend. Field training solidifies team spirit.
No pay, no gain.
At the end of 13 weeks in boot camp, recruits experience the crucible. 56 hours with little sleep, barely any food, and hours upon hours of marching, crawling, and problem solving.
1, 2, 3, right!
At the end of the crucible, recruits are called Marine for the first time. But it is a long and muddy road. A road I wandered down quite willingly. This is one of the infiltration courses at Camp Pendleton outside San Diego. It's about half the length of a football field, laced with barbed wire and full of mud. CO2 and propane blasts act as artillery fire and grenades. Drill instructors scream over it all. Honestly, out of all the things I did during our week-long visit, I looked forward the most to this part.
Keep moving!
3/4 of the way through, my heart is at Mach speed, my knees and elbows are bruised and bleeding, and now I've got a drill instructor on my back.
Hey, high crawl! Get the thing on the discipline cover up right now! Get it up! Get it up! Crawl faster! 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 Faster!
You don't want to know what I'm thinking right now.
Faster!
At the end, I must freeze and aim at a small target across a trench.
Aim it!
Then the call comes. Get up, we're done.
Doing it with the recruits was awesome. Because they're next to you, they're behind you, they're in front of you, looking at you like, what the heck are you doing here?
While I may be done, the recruits have almost 3 days of this stuff left.
No shower, no food, no sleep. I got to eat lunch before I did this, which might have been a mistake. I think this is a good look for me. What do you think?
You might want to think about just what these young men are doing and why they're doing it. Whether you believe in it or not, they're training to defend you and your opinions. And as places like Kosovo loom tall in the not-so-distant background, boot camp seems all the more real and all the more important.
During his legendary flight, Charles Lindbergh wrote, "I've lost command of my eyelids. When they start to close, I can't restrain them. They shut." 70 years later, and pilots are still fighting fatigue.
I've had situations where I'm sitting there watching the instruments or maybe talking on the radio and realizing the words coming out aren't the words that I wanted to say.
Whether it's transcontinental or commuter, the complaints are the same. Too many hours on duty, not enough sleep.
The public needs to understand that there's no limit placed upon the duty time of pilots.
One just imagines that they're working a 6 to 10 hour shift. You don't really think about them working beyond that.
But they often do. Arriving here at 8:47, pilots barely have time to go to the bathroom before heading out again at 9:30 for Los Angeles. Then to Yuma, back to Los Angeles, on to Santa Maria, then home to Monterey and off duty at 5:23 in the evening. That's more than 12 hours on duty. Add delays and you have an unacceptable schedule, say pilots.
A flight crew can go until they drop. There's no place at which the federal government says you have to go to bed.
The pilots want the regulations changed, and scientists agree. Researchers here at the NASA Ames Institute say studies show safety is compromised when pilots work too many hours. Pilots say it's time for the public, the people who depend on the safety of these flights, to put the pressure on.
I just wonder where the outrage is. People ought to write letters to their congressmen and raise hell about it.
And I'm 176 contact with California. And I'm 176, come on. Bye-bye.
Every day is the same here. A regiment set by the guards, played out by the inmates.
X4.
Ironically, they are here because they wanted power.
I just needed the power. I needed the pleasure of having power.
Now, they don't have the power to move without being told.
First table.
And so you want to do something different, you want to go in a different direction or get there faster.
They are juvenile sex offenders who have raped, sodomized, and terrorized their victims.
They're very dangerous, and they prey on little kids.
I got arrested for molesting a neighbor's, some other person's daughter. I was 15, and my victim was 7.
And the violent nature of the crimes are shocking.
I took her into my house and into my room, and then, like I said, I tried to slam her head on the wall so she'd fall. But then,
So why'd you try to slam her head on the wall?
to make her unconscious so that I could do what I wanted to do.
Most started out sexually abusing their siblings.
Tell me what a stranger looks like.
Programs that educate kids only deal with potential victims, teaching them how not to get lured. But they never say, don't lure someone else, don't touch someone else inappropriately. It's a crime. Counselors say that these young kids need to know that child molest is a serious crime. And if they're caught molesting, their parents need to face the facts and report it so that these young molesters can get the help that they need.
If I had help then, better help then, I probably wouldn't be exactly sitting here, being locked up with barbed wires around me, sitting behind a metal door.
Rick Corcoran has been out in the gorge earlier today, and he is with me now. He's a Channel 6 video journalist. It was a mess out there earlier today.
It was a mess. The assignment was to leave my house from Vancouver about 6:30 this morning, drive down to Sandy, the boring area. It wasn't too bad down there. Just a little light snow, a little light freezing rain, but then I had to go out to the Columbia River Gorge, and that's where I found all the action to be. As first light came to boring, it was chilly, but all in all, not too bad a morning. What little traffic there was had no trouble getting around. Up on Highway 26, it was a little more windy, but cars moved along without a hitch. It was even nice enough to get a workout in. If you consider 0-degree wind chill, nice.
Trying to brave these elements, trying to be tough, I guess. Gotta get that exercise.
In Sandy, things started to get interesting. There was a combination of freezing rain and snow, but it was the wind that caused the bulk of the problems. Just ask the Carlson family, who got an unexpected wake-up call at 5 a.m.
I was asleep, he was awake, and we heard a bang, and there's a tree in our bedroom.
Oh my! If you really wanted to get a blast of winter, the Columbia Gorge was the place to be. Cars and trucks made their way along Interstate 84 most of the morning until around noon, when it was finally closed down at Troutdale. Motorists who beat the closure had anything but a smooth ride, as blowing snow made driving an adventure.
Oh, it's lovely. Lovely Columbia River Gorge.
Nice weather we're having.
At one point this afternoon, state police escorted people back to the west on the eastbound lanes. But everyone else just wanted to get home.
It's terrible. What are you doing out here driving in this? Trying to get back to Yakima.
Just trying to get home to Hood River. Woo! Never fear, we'll get there.
Even if it takes all night. It's possible it might take all night. We talked to OSP just a little while ago, and basically they don't know when 84 is going to be opened back up. So if you're planning to go east of the mountains or Mount Hood or anywhere, don't plan on it right now. Wait till you hear from us or on Channel 6000 on the webpage, and we'll give you the word when 84 is open and you can make your way across the mountains.
I'm just going to take a wild guess here and say that it won't be anytime soon, probably tonight, or probably not until tomorrow sometime, I would say. One of the things that we saw in your piece is that people are not just scraping their windshields, they're scraping their windshield wipers out here too, because the rain hits those, this freezing rain, and makes them almost worthless.
The supply of de-icer and WD-40, one guy was using WD-40, so that was the backup plan. He had a can of that. He ran out of de-icer probably 5 miles ago and went to that. But yeah, I found that that was the worst trouble. You could only see about 30 feet in front of you, the blowing snow, and the worst was that the wipers just wouldn't take it off your windshield. So it was dangerous, and it's good that it is closed.
Visibility Really, they look terrible out there.
Oh, it was. It was like out of the, if you've ever seen the movie Fargo, it was kind of like a scene out of that. You just had these open plains and blowing snow, and luckily, nobody's been hurt, though.
It's all about good outrunning and good lines and dogs stopping when you tell them to.
That's all there is to being good at sheep herding, but if you think it sounds easy, think again.
There's a lot of luck in this sport. You've got 4 sheep out there that have individual brains, and sometimes we think that the leader with the brain, it gets left in the barn or something.
That's what makes it a little tougher for a handler and their border collie to get these sheep from point A to point B.
The whole name of the game is to concentrate and for you and your dog to be a team together.
These competitions have all the familiar things you're used to at a sporting event, like programs to tell who's who, picture taking, eating peanuts, and spinning. Spinning?
Anywhere where there's anything to do with fleece, we're likely to show up. You know, there's sheep, it's fleece, we're here.
And when it comes to the concession stand, lunch is lunch, and the sheep are very nervous, especially when lamb is on the menu.
They do tend to stay away from this area, I've noticed.
Who says the one with the brains was left at the barn?
Come on, good girl.
This wouldn't be a true sports story without a comment from the athlete. Hit the shower, kid. Rick Corcoran, News Center 6.